Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the latest in regards to Nico Williams, because it has been said that Barcelona are officially starting the process of trying to sign Nico Williams. They're looking for multiple plans, multiple operations, how they could afford a player like Nico. And so I'm going to be explaining exactly what has been going on in the past 24 to 48 hours, because it's very much real. It's very much real that we could see Nico Williams play with the rest of his friends at FC Barcelona, like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Alejandro Balde, and so forth. It's going to be very, very exciting. So look, over the past week, Nico Williams has been texting and calling the Barcelona players and pleading to help and to tell the people within the club that he does want to come to FC Barcelona. So not only did Nico tell his agent to go speak to one of the top people at Barcelona, but he also spoke to his friends, right? The Barcelona players, to go out there and speak to the top people and say that he does desperately want to join. Nico Williams did say, and he told his friends that if Barcelona did have the money, he would come tomorrow. However, here's the thing, and I want everybody to really understand this. Laporta and Deco are keeping their composure. They're not out here saying, oh my god, okay, Nico wants to come, we have to hurry up this process. No, Laporta and Deco want to do this correctly because they want to make sure that if they were to sign a top left winger, they want to be able to sign other players after. So their composure is very strong, and they're not going to be too emotional about whatever headlines they're reading, what the people are saying. They're not going to be bullied in that way. They're going to be taking their time. They're going to try and understand how this process should be taken to make sure that Barcelona are financially healthy, even after we do sign either Nico Williams or Luis Diaz. So we do have some sources claiming that there is a new meeting that will be held within the next 10 to 12 days between Nico's agent and Deco with Joan Laporta. That visit that came from Felix Teinta, who is the agent of Nico, it did have a strong impact on Joan Laporta. That happened about 7 to 8 days ago, because for the first time in a very long time, a player and the agent have been dying to come to FC Barcelona, and Joan Laporta really does take that seriously. And let's remember, over the past 3 to 4 weeks, Nico was always considered as plan C or plan D, and that is mainly because supposedly his wage demands were just too high. But because Nico and the agent are saying, hey look, we're willing to lower our wage demands to join this club, Barcelona are very much interested. Another hurdle that Barcelona have to go through is the 62 to 64 million euro release clause. What Barcelona want to do in terms of this operation is they want to pay this 62 to 64 million euro release clause in a lot of installments, making sure that they don't put a huge amount of money up front, and then Barcelona is going to be stuck right after, and they could not sign any players. And that is why they want to spread these payments. Now, is Athletic Club going to allow for Barcelona to have that type of blessing and that type of operation? We'll see. To me, in my opinion, I think that Athletic Club should really give Nico Williams a favor. Lend them that favor. Let Nico Williams join FC Barcelona, because let me tell you, if there's anybody here who is a Athletic Club fan, or maybe if you guys are working within the club, I want you guys to understand that Nico Williams did you guys a favor back on August 2024. He literally said, no, I'm not going to FC Barcelona because I want to stay here for one more season with Athletic Club to try and win more trophies with Athletic Club and in the Europa League. I'm not going to just leave Athletic Club just mid-air and fall flat on the ground. No, we have to compete for the Europa League. Unfortunately, they did not win the trophy, but still, Nico Williams made a sacrifice. He did it for himself and for the club. And I think that now, a year later, Athletic Club should pay back that favor and not make this operation so difficult, so Nico can finally join the club of his dreams and play with Lamine Yamal. This also does greatly harm the chances of Bayern Munich trying to sign Nico. It's almost over for Bayern. It's literally almost done. They have been informed of Nico's decision, and so now they're looking at other left wingers for now. But they're going to be waiting. They're going to be seeing whether Barcelona's numbers can add up and how they're going to be negotiating with Athletic Club. So as of now, triggering the clause with no negotiations, which would mean that we have to pay a lot of money up front, and that's a very uncomfortable ask for a club and that's still living under La Liga's financial fair play microscope. Now, let's talk about Luis Diaz just for a second. Inside the sporting department, Luis Diaz does remain officially as the plan A, and that is only because they have been working on this operation longer than the Nico Williams operation. As we all know, Luis Diaz is a player that is greatly admired by Hansi Flick. You can already see the amount of pressures, the amount of counterattacks you can produce with Luis Diaz and Rafinha playing together. However, Liverpool have been floating with different numbers within the ranges of 65 to 80 million euros, which is a huge ask for FC Barcelona, and Barcelona are a little afraid because they know that Liverpool have just spent 150 million euros on floating verts, and so maybe Liverpool might be wanting to ask for more than 65 to 75 to 80 million euros and maybe more up front, something that Barcelona will definitely not do. Because here's the thing, we have already had it confirmed that Barcelona's ceiling for Luis Diaz specifically is that they're not going to go over 60 million euros. They're just not. If Liverpool want to say 65 or 63 million euros, Barcelona are going to let the negotiations die on the spot. They're going to say, no thank you, we're okay. Because if we spend more than 60 million euros on Luis Diaz, we're not going to be able to sign other players. We're fine. We're not going to be out to negotiate it and overpay pay for somebody like Luis Diaz and spend all of our money on just one player, like 80 to 85 million euros, right? Barcelona is not stupid. Laporta Deco, they're not stupid. However, there's one big piece of information that we must know. Liverpool, right, unlike Athletic Club, Liverpool might agree to spreading out the payments more likely than Athletic Club, which is once again spreading the fee over several summers, which would give Barcelona more room to breathe and to sign the players that they do want. For example, the only player that I can think of after signing our left winger would be Grimaldo. And I really do think that if Liverpool do say, okay, fine, we're going to be spreading out the release clause of 60 million euros into multiple summers, I can only see that happening if Luis Diaz tells Liverpool, please negotiate with Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona. Luis Diaz needs to do exactly what Nico Williams did in the past 2 days, which is to literally tell his agent and everybody in Liverpool that he does not want to play at Liverpool anymore and wants to join FC Barcelona, so Liverpool can be forced to negotiate and Barcelona are in a winning spot. This is a very similar outcome and situation to the one of Lewandowski back in 2022. Bayern Munich did not want to sell Lewandowski at all to FC Barcelona, but the moment Lewandowski said, I'm really pushing for this signing, I want this to happen, I want to sign the papers to join Barcelona, Bayern were forced to negotiate with FC Barcelona, and then something happened, right? Lewandowski joined Barcelona in the summer of 2022 and we won. So Luis Diaz has to take that exact same strategy, very similar, like I've said, to Nico Williams. So let me know in the comment sections down below, because this is a very big question. Would you rather see Barcelona sign Nico Williams or Luis Diaz? Because right now the operations are very different. Would you spend 62 million euros up front for Nico, or would you rather spend 60 to 62 million euros for Luis Diaz, but that release clause is going to be spread out through multiple summers? Now, there is always that possibility that Barcelona could sign Luis Diaz and sign Nico Williams in a later year, maybe in the summer of 2026, because we have found out that Nico's choice right now is binary. He either signs for Barcelona in this summer or he extends with Athletic Club for one more season and he's willing to wait it out to join FC Barcelona in the next summer. He is not interested in joining Bayern as of now. It's only to extend with Athletic Club or sign with Barcelona. So let's just take that into account. But I really do think, and I'm going to just say it out here, I really do think that there is a 98% chance that Barcelona will get the deal done and they'll sign Nico. But the ball is going to be on Barcelona's court. Either way though, looking at the broad view of this whole thing, Flick's mandate is clear. This team needs a left winger, and these next 10 days could reshape Barcelona's front line for years. And we definitely came a long way, because I remember back on May 25th, 2025, it was reported according to Marca that Real Madrid wanted to sign Nico Williams. And the reason why is because they saw that Barcelona were not interested in Nico Williams anymore. But that was because it was May 25th. Right now it's June 16th. That was a month ago. And Nico Williams never, ever at that time ever expressed interest in joining FC Barcelona up until today. I wonder how most of these Real Madrid fans do feel as of now, because the way that things have turned, it's been very dramatic. And lastly, we do have another report coming from Ferran Martinez, who has claimed here live that Joan Laporta has given his okay. He is excited about signing Nico Williams and has approved the club to launch a move in full force. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.